Alright guys, welcome to my channel. This is your boy again, Toby. Just in case it's the first time you're meeting me or you're seeing this channel, you might just want to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like, comment to the videos, and as well share. Alright, so I bring you a live broadcast with Simon Ekpa on this day, the 9th day of the month of November. Alright guys, so have a good time and please don't forget to subscribe.
To submit a report to this committee that they are snubbed, violated their own ultimatum with impunity. So which face would Nigeria use to challenge the Biafra government when we are here to say enough is enough with your impunity, enough is enough with your supporting of terrorism? We are not even talking about them funding terrorism, giving them guns and arms to fight and kill indigenous people to take over their land in the name of Islamic State. We are not even talking about that yet. We are talking about only the arbitrary detention of innocent citizens, so-called innocent citizens, arbitrary detention of those who were exercising their right protected under this United Nations treaty. That is what we are still addressing. We are not addressing their terrorism and how they are killing people, extrajudicial killings and all that of innocent people. How Nigeria violates this law with impunity that lead to the anarchy that you see today. Because the solution to prevent anarchy, to prevent instability, has been laid down in all these principles and treaties that we are going to assent to. And once you begin to violate it, you are opening and creating a loophole for anarchy. Using gun and bullet, think you can use them to suppress them for a long time? No. At a point, they will fight back. And that is why I am leading the fighting back against Nigeria today. And I will stand anywhere, anytime in the world to defend how I am leading the pushback to fight against the terrorist state of Nigeria with our guns and bullets. What is the concept of this treaty? A state party to a treaty is a state that has expressed consent by an act of ratification, accession, or succession, and where the treaty has entered into force, or a state about to become a party after formal reception by the United Nations Secretary of the state decision to be a party. A signatory to a treaty that provided a preliminary endorsement of the instrument and its intent to examine the treaty domestically and consider ratifying it. No action means that a state did not express its consent. Nigeria expressed its consent in ratifying these treaties that they are now violating, and Biafra is the only alternative to bring to an end to the impunity. No, so my brother Biafra people, I want to quickly inform the entire Biafra people some of the international human rights treaty under the United Nations that Biafra government will ratify during the convention in Finland on the 2nd of December. I want to inform you, we are not only declaring the restoration of Biafra on the 2nd of December, but we are also ratifying the United Nations international human rights treaties, peace and stability. Nigeria have not done that for decades. We are going to provide that solution. So, on this note, the Biafra people will gather in the convention alongside with many observers that will be coming from all over the world to observe the convention of the Biafra government, both in the homeland and in diaspora in exile. On that day, Biafra will ratify the International Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Racial Discrimination, which was adopted in 1965. On the 2nd of December 2024, as we declare the restoration of the sovereign state of Biafra, Biafra will ratify the United Nations International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, which was found in 1966. My fellow Biafrans and the good people of the world that are listening and are very, very sympathetic to the cause of Biafra people, I want you to understand that Biafra will be the beginning of civilization in Africa. We have suffered enough. Our people have been killed, and those who made it alive today should go and thank their God that they are alive to witness this particular history that we are making in this generation, which came into force in 1984. On the 2nd of December 2024, Biafra government will assent and rectify the United Nations Convention on the Right of Child, which came into force in 1989. We are laying this foundation for those who do not understand how Biafra will restore stability in the entire region, to understand that only by the rule of law that sanity will return to the region of the West Africa, largest resources. On the 2nd of December 2024, during the convention that will shape the history of Africa, Biafra government will assent and rectify the United Nations International Convention on the Protection of Rights of all migrant workers and members of their families, which came into force in 1990. My fellow Biafrans, on the 2nd of December, we are not just only declaring the restoration of independence state of Biafra to raise a legal document, but we are also assenting as a government, ratifying the United Nations International Convention for Protection of All Persons from Enforced Disappearance. Today, Nigeria is known for enforcing the disappearance of those who criticize it, who criticize the government, those who criticize the leaders, those who criticize officials. They enforce their disappearance. Just a few days ago, we listened to one of the lawmakers bragging to a taxi driver how he can make him disappear and nobody will talk about him anymore. It happens. Thousands of people have disappeared as a result of them criticizing the government officials. While Nigeria was party to this treaty, they encourage and use their law enforcement agencies to violate it. Biafra is bringing alternative. How can you come against the Biafra government? We are people that embrace the future national law and international treaty, making sure that it is a pathway to restore peace and stability. On the 2nd of December 2024, the Biafra government will not only declare the restoration of independence of Biafra to restore peace and stability in the Sahel region, but we are also going to assent and ratify the Convention on the Right of Persons with Disability. My fellow Biafrans, on the 2nd of December, when you hear them say December 2nd will come, a lot is going to happen that day. It's going to be one of the most important days in the history of humankind. The Biafra government, during this convention on the 2nd of December, will ratify and assent to the United Nations optional protocol to the Covenant of Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights. My fellow Biafrans, on that same day, 2nd of December, the Biafra government will also ratify and assent up to the optional protocol to the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. My fellow Biafra people and the lovers of freedom across the world, we are solidifying the legal document that will form the pathway to the recognition of the Biafra as a government, as a state, and then also to bring in lasting peace to the already deteriorating security situation in the Sahel and in the region of the eastern part of Nigeria called Biafra. My fellow Biafrans, on the 2nd of December, the Biafra government will be ratifying and assenting to the United Nations Second Optional Protocol to the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. And our aim is the abolition of the death penalty. This particular convention aiming at the abolition of death penalty, Biafra government will assent and ratify this treaty. Everybody is enjoying, and the government is working for the people. Crime rate is very low. My fellow Biafrans, on the 2nd of December, the Biafra government, during the convention, will ratify and assent to the United Nations Optional Protocol to the Convention on the Elimination of Discrimination Against Women, which came into force in 1999. The Biafra government will ratify and assent to this convention and treaty. My fellow Biafrans, the Biafra government, under my leadership as a Prime Minister, during the convention in Finland on the 2nd of December 2024, will also ratify and assent to the United Nations Optional Protocol to the Convention on the Right of the Child on the Involvement of Children in Armed Conflict. We will ratify this treaty and abide by it, not like the Nigeria terrorist state are doing in the northern Nigeria. On this 2nd of December 2024, as we declare raising a document for the restoration of independence of Biafra, the Biafra government will ratify and consent to the United Nations Optional Protocol to the Convention on the Right of Child, on the sales of children, child prostitution, and child pornography. Like under Nigeria, these are not crimes. Why Nigeria assent and sign into these particular treaties, they do not even know the value. They do not know the value in the society. They do not know how it helped to shape in society to become a better society like you have in Europe. Like one of the criminals in IPOB, Nigeria, was surprised why Simon Ekpa is making all these utterances in the name of fighting Biafra and nobody is disturbing him. But his uncle shared a nude of a child in Germany, and he has been in the court for the past 5 years. As a Nigerian criminal, this man does not understand that sharing any child pornography is a serious crime. And here is where that particular law was derived from. Under this particular...
All ministers of the Biafran Republic government in exile and the de facto government in homeland, you are welcome to this very press briefing by our Prime Minister, making bold of our steps ahead of 2nd of December. And as you can just hear from him, it is not just go to Finland and make a declaration, then raise a document, start sending to countries for recognition, but also to be part of the legal binding force that binds other nations, which made that very singular forum called United Nations. They don't read the agreements, they never read the backgrounds of what they're about to sign. They already signed it because they want to be part of the United Nations and also make part of the United Nations Security Council. And back home, they are disobeying the treaties they sign, which also form the nucleus part of their own constitutions. The centerpiece of their constitution is deriving from all these rights named by our Prime Minister this evening, and they don't even respect their own constitutions. How do they respect an international treaties, which they never read the background? So, according to our Prime Minister, he has assured us that we shall be part of all these agreements and treaties and bring first-hand civilization in Africa, not only Sahel, but in the whole of Africa, because it is only us that can be able to obligate and make this possible. So, Prime Minister, thank you very much. I know the 2nd of December is going to be whole lot of power-packed activities, which shall appear to the world as a surprise. Thank you very much. Deputy Minister of Communication, Mazi Raf Ajare. Welcome, sir, and unmute yourself, please.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, sir. Good evening, my Prime Minister. Good evening, fellow Biafrans and lovers of freedom. You're all welcome to this wonderful occasion of being with our Prime Minister to receive the blessings of Biafra, and we can see how far we are going. And obviously, we are very close home. We are very close home, and I give Chukwu Kabiam the glory. Thank you so much, success, and everyone that is in this space. Please, Prime Minister wants to engage every one of us. As you have listened to all that he has said, please, based on what he just discussed, please bring your questions and go straight to the point. As the hands are being raised, I will respond to you accordingly. Please, as you will finish your questions, you just go down to listening mode so that the next person will be able to come up. First on this space will be Triple M. Triple M, please unmute yourself. You have at least 1 or 2 minutes to bring your questions and make it snappy.
All right. Thank you very much, Pastor Van Van Van, Honorable Pastor Van Van. Thank you, my fellow Biafrans all over the world. Thank you, my indisputable Prime Minister. We appreciate you so much. But I won't say that is a question. We just applaud you because you renew the quality and the pride of the Biafrans in that so-called, in fact, all over the world, not only in the zoo. Well, I just